Good afternoon, everybody. How are things? It's throwing it down here. Absolutely throwing it down. And we have had a little bit of thunder and lightning as well. So I'm hoping that everything's going to stay okay and we're going to get through this video. Can you see what I've found? Look, my board. So yeah, back in again. Here it is. Now I do want to be seeing other people's boards because obviously we had them on the show the other day, and there is quite a bit of competitiveness going on. So it's nice to see that when you put your tiles on, that you're photographing it behind your board and things. It's lovely. That's no jealousy though. I know this morning Leslie said somebody's had board jealousy over hers or board envy. So no, we're all in this together and we all share. So it's nice to know I've got mine back. So okay, here we go. Tile 162. Now you can see here I've actually got a normal size tile. I've got a pink one today, and I've got a little bit of a creamy tiny tile. If you don't have a tiny tile or you don't want to do both, you don't have to. It's absolutely fine. I will explain how you can do the tile we're going to do today, and just sort of in both senses. Don't panic. My board, I just found my board on my craft desk in my room this morning. I don't know where it's been or who's borrowed it, but it was just back on the desk as though it had never been away, which is quite scary, isn't it, when you think about it? So not to worry though, I don't mind. It's back, so that's all good. So okay, what do I have today? I have pencil, my regular pen. Oh, there you go, pencil, my regular pen, my tortillon, and I do have a silver gel pen with me today. It's nice to add a touch of colour, and I was sort of going to add a bit of pink. I might add a bit of pink. I've also got with me today though, because of course we're packing, as you can imagine, is I've got a pink micron pen, so I might sort of bring a bit of pink in. It's just a hint. I know some of you out there are a little bit you struggle a little bit with colour, and you want to do it but you don't know how. So this is a good way of using just one colour just to sort of accent it a little bit. So okay, shall we make a start then? Let's get going with this. Are we ready for it? Okay, got this. Pencil, deep breath. Let's go. Oh, thank you, Bob. I'm really pleased I found my board. It's like I've been reunited with an old friend. Of course, all my books have got that on the front, so it's good, isn't it? Okay, I've got my 4 dots. And down we come. Oh, just a quick apology. I know the tile swap should have gone out, but Leslie and I have been a bit busy packing orders, so we're going to come in tomorrow afternoon and get them swapped for you and posted. So if you've been waiting for it, I do apologise, but we'll get it out quickly over the weekend for you. And then we know our next tile swap is on the 16th. Now you know that's my move date. So what I'm going to suggest is that I actually do the swap in the evening, because by the time I think the afternoon comes round, I'm not going to have a table to sit at to do it. So I thought, let's wait until I get home and we'll do the tile swap at 7 o'clock on that Monday evening. So, all right. Now, if you don't have a tiny tile, you don't want to use one, what you need to do is just section off a quarter there of your tile that you're working on there. Okay, so if that's what you were going to do, I'll just sort of draw it in here so you get the idea. There we are, a bit there, a bit there. So you want in about a quarter blocked off, okay? Because that's what I'm going to do. If you look here, I'm going to put my tile in that space. It's going to hang over a bit, this one is, so I've got that kind of design, but you can still do it, but you only need that much, okay? So I'm going to work on this one as well. I'm going to put my little dots in, and I'm going to put a border around this one too. So again, just with pencil. Now, if you feel that you really need to get this square, then by all means, come on in and use a straight edge or whatever you want to work to. But I'm just going to rough it in there. Okay. Oh, it sounds like there's thunder all over the country today then. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. So oh, thank you, Louise. Yeah, I'm so happy I've got my board. Okay, so I'm going to work on this tile to start with, and if you're working on a full tile, then you're going to be working in this quarter here. So hopefully then you'll have put your little border on the inside, So I'm going to move that to one weight and I'm just going to work on this one. So let's go a little bit bigger. Okay. So let's just sort of split our space up. I'm going to sort of work from the middle there. Go again with a pencil. And then this one, normally we'd split it in half, but what I want to do here is I'm going to split it into two there. So a line there, look, a line there. That gives me 3 spaces. And then the same here. Yeah, Chris, I know. Oh, Leslie's not with us today. She's had to go to the dentist. So even elves have to have their teeth checked. So, absolutely. Oh, Lindsay, the board, I found it. It was back on my craft desk this morning. So whoever had borrowed it gave it back. I have no idea. It's one of them things, isn't it? It was probably underneath a load of stuff and I've moved it. It's normally the case. All right, so you can see here we're working on a bit of a grid today then. So we've got 6 and then 6 going that way too. So it's a little bit even in that sense. So now I've got this, I'm happy to come in with my pen and I'm just going to draw in these lines. Now I know where they're going to be. So I'm going to use a straight edge for this just to work it in. Now I've got the basics. Okay. Now of course, because I sort of drew this freehand, it might be a little bit different to what I'm actually drawing, but that's okay. Let's just draw that line again. Okay. And then, now in order to get these straight, I'm just going to line this tile up with the edge of that tile. And then I know I'm going to get straight lines, but of course I've got my pencil lines as a guide. So that really helps. Okay. And then I'll do the same this side. So again, just sort of lining it up and then round. I'm not worried if they're slightly different sizes because I want that hand-drawn feel, of course, but we are doing a bit of a grid, so let's get that in. Okay. Maybe, Lindsay, maybe. That's something I need to actually have a look for the signs, don't I, to see what's going on there. Absolutely. I'll have to do a little bit of a hunt around. Yeah, mind you, Benji was looking a bit sheepish yesterday. I don't know what he's been up to. Yeah. Maybe he was trying to tell me something and I didn't really listen to him. No. There we go. Okay, so there's my little grid. All right, so what I'm going to do, just stabbed myself with something in my pencil case. So let's get rid of those pencil lines now. See, I know some of them are slightly bigger and smaller than each other, but that's fine, not to worry. Okay. So let's make a start then. I'm going to start in this corner here and I'm just going to bring in a line down the middle. Then I'm going to miss one and then I'm going to do one in there, miss one and one in there. Okay. And then I'm going to split up the space there. See, look, one in there and one in there. Same here. So I could do that way if I wanted, or I could do each one first. There we go. All right. Oh, Sally, yeah, do you know, he's taken out, actually, if you give him a treat, he's taken to running upstairs with it and sitting at the top of the stairs eating it. So I don't know if Seth has been giving him some grief about trying to pinch his treats. But Seth doesn't go upstairs as much anymore. He's getting on a bit, so yeah, he's a bit crazy, my Benji. But actually, I was chatting to John the other night on the way home from Creating Craft. Obviously hands-free, yeah. And he was on speaker and you could hear Benji whinging in the background because he's quite vocal. And I think it's because I'd been out quite a lot of the day and he was wondering where I was. He was getting a bit agitated. Of course, because he could hear my voice over the phone. He was like, "Where's Mummy?" Yeah, If there's anybody there that hasn't seen a photograph of Benji, you're going to have to go and have a look on the photos because he's adorable. All right, you can see that this kind of pattern here. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't got a screen tint on, but it does look a bit. So it could be atmospherics and things today. I hope it's not going to cause us a problem. So not to worry. Okay, so yeah, the sort of the design at the moment, we've just sort of worked on lines and we've got this kind of stripy thing going on there, just to get us going. Okay, so here we go now. Let's turn it to an angle and I'm just going to put in a curve and a curve and just fill them. Now you see this, because the grid's a little bit different, it's going to give us a bit of a slightly more wonky line, but that's good. It's got a little bit of character to it, so I kind of like that. Okay, and I'm just going to do one on this side. And then I'm going to leave that one and I'm going to do one on that side too. There we go. So I've got 2 rows of blank at the minute. Okay, let's come on in. I'm just going to fill this shape with some bubbles. Now notice I start in the middle and then you sort of get to even out the shapes either side. So start in the middle-ish and even the shapes out either side. And then if you want to, you can fill the gaps in with ink, or you can leave them or put bubbles in them. All right, so same in this one. There we go. It's like this one's got a little bit of a line going on all of its own. It's kind of nice. There we are. Okay, and then same in this one. Now if you want to go and put all of the bubbles in the middle just to start with, that's fine, and then fill them in. It's as long as you're sort of filling in, it's fine. I tend to leave the colour in or the ink in till I've drawn them all, and then we go. There we are. All right. Yeah, little pea pods. It's a nice one, this. You could use it for all sorts of things. And although this one starts as a grid, we're going to put a little bit of an organic-y kind of flow vibe on it in a moment, but I know you like your grids too, so I thought we'd start with that and mix it. These make great little borders and things. So there you are. Just see little bubbles in that one. Okay, and again, look, I'm just going to fill in those little areas there, and same there. Now this is, it's one way of thinking. I could have actually used the same pattern throughout, because I'm going to come back with some lines now, but it's a nice way of just breaking it up. Oh, Sally, Benji's the red or the brown and white. Seth's the black and white. Okay, so here we go. So let's have a look at this now. So we've just broken this design up a little bit, but now looking at it, we're going to go back to lines. And what I'm going to do is just create a line going this way this time. I say we could have used the whole tile and done this one design, but I just wanted to break it up a bit and add something a little bit different in the mix, because you don't have to, when you're doing a grid, you don't have to have exactly the same design running through it. You can change things about. So it's nice to sort of put that in. Okay. So see, I'm not going to do that one, but I am that one. So it's still running through, but we've just got that little bit of a difference in there. Okay, so any of those squares now going that way, we're going to put that in. All right, so we've got that sort of pattern going on. Just to keep in with the lines. It is going to be an interesting tile today, Charlotte. I've got quite a lot a lot of faith in you, you can do this one. Okay, so just sort of adding that line in, you see, on all of them. So if I go a little bit larger now, just so you can see there, I'm just going to start in that same point, and I'm just going to work my lines sort of at an angle just to fill that space. Now, if you can get 2 in, you get 2. If you can only get 1, that's fine. Or if you think, oh, I can get 3 in, then that's fine too. Don't think you've got to do them all exactly the same. You just want to fill the space with the lines. Okay. So are we all excited about having a go at drawing the wolf? Or is it the totem that you preferred? Or are we up for doing dream catchers? Yes, Sally, this is the little tiny tile. So if you've not got one and you're working on a large tile, this will take up 1/4 of the space. Okay, all right. So a little bit different there, isn't it? But that's what we're going to leave that one for now. So if you were not working on a tiny tile, you would have actually drawn in this sort of 1/4 of your tile there. This one's going to sort of sit over the top of it a little bit, you see? But yours, you'll sort of sit it in there, so that's right. Oh, Pat, we'll be fine with this one. You'll be fine. Okay, so you see that one's sort of sitting in there, and I want to work it this way. And just so I remind myself, because of course this is going to move, I'm just going to put a little arrow there, just so I know that this is where it sort of sits on my tile. Okay. Deep breath. We've got this. This is the fun bit. Okay. So let's turn it this way for now. And I'm just going to look at these lines for a minute. You see I've got these lines running through this way, sort of coming vertically down there. So I'm going to work on this one because see I've got a gap. It goes sort of over, under, over, over, under. So this, where it's got this gap here, I want to bring this line out here. Right, you might want to watch this just to see what I'm doing with it, and then you can follow on. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer, and I'm going to curve it a little bit. See, then this one, I'm going to bring out here. So you see, so this piece here, it's sort of come from here, along here, and out here. Okay, and then I've got another one this side, so again that's that line's sort of there, isn't it? But let's cross it underneath. So there, look, it's going to come under here and along there. Might make that a bit longer, you see? And then I've got, so that's this one here and this one here. So now I've got this one. Let's have that one. It's coming out a little bit there. And then I've got this one, so we can extend that a little bit. Now, of course, yours is going to be a little bit different here because it depends on how it draws on the tile. So let's just sort of go through that again. It's nothing crazy that I've done there. I've just drawn this one. See, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 there. It's just that as they're coming out, I'm just letting them loose a little bit to sort of have a wander over there, okay? So if I go a bit larger now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little sort of bubble on the top of each one. I'll do one first. Just fill the sides in. And then just draw around a little shape there. And the same here. Now, of course, if you want to sort of change your lines and make them a bit longer or a bit shorter, you can do that before you put this little bobble shape on. Okay, just going to move that a little bit round. And let's do one here. So that's going to go slightly behind there. And around. And another one. Around here. There we go. Just aura around that shape. Okay, so you see there we've got this row of 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're following through. So there's that one. There's that one. It looks like it's going underneath. There's that one. And there's that one. Okay, so I think now we've got the idea of that. Let's have a look at this one. I've got one here. So I'm going to do the same again. Now you can start with the middle line like I did, or you can start on one end. It's entirely up to you. But I do like to start centrally, then I can see where I'm headed. See that one? I'm going to have that one as a small one there. So I'm going to put that round to start with. There we go. And then this end one here, we can twist that round and under there. Okay. This one here, let's take it up. I'm going to go round that way. I quite like the twisting around and over and under. It makes for an interesting piece. So let's do that one. Like so, I'm going to make it a little bit longer there because I don't want it to clash with that. All right. So again, let's have these little bubbles on the end, filling the space around there. And then right now, do I want to go under or over the border? It's just on there. Oh, I know, Louise, but you know, if I didn't challenge you now and again, you'd find it too easy and you'd all get bored and wouldn't move on, would we? Wouldn't be pushing the boundaries, and I think that's part of what makes us feel alive. You have to push the boundaries a little bit. I think once you've got the hang of where the lines are coming from, you'll be fine. Let's have a look at that, see? We can see where it's coming, loops there, under there, over there, under there, over, under, and out there. And this is a great one that you can extend either onto your little journals, into your practice books, wherever you want to go with it. So, okay, let's have a look at this one then. We've got some this side. So I've got one here. See this one? We can bring out here. And then this one here, we can bring out. I could even do that one, depends on how much space we've got. Let's have a look. So I'm just lining that up so I know that they're the right place. And then let's start with this one. So I'm going to bring this one, let's start with. This one's coming down here in the middle there, look. And I'm going to bring it down here a little bit. So there's that first one. So you see, all the way from there, it's gone underneath and it's coming out there, you see? And then I know I need another one. So again, I'm going to add a bit of a curve. I've got space here, so let's use it. And then let's do another. Let's go that way. And then the last one, I'm going to bring up and underneath there. Okay. And then let's again add these little bubbles around it. And aura around that shape. I just think we've actually done now, this is 162 tiles and they're all different. And I know that some of you are going to find some of them more difficult than others to do, but everybody's different. You know, some of them might think, oh, this is really easy, some think it's a challenge, but it's a case of working through it. And I even think sometimes, even if you think, oh, it's not really my thing, it's not what I want to do, I just want to do this one, then it's, you know, it just sort of builds you, doesn't it? It builds your repertoire a bit, and you might decide that you kind of like it, and you know, you might change your mind on something as you're going. So, okay, looking at this then, you see I've got this middle line here, it's going from here, you see, it's going underneath, then it comes over, and then it goes under here and comes out there. So then this is all about, you could keep them all straight if you wanted to, but I'm probably making it a little bit more tricky because I'm taking things under and over. As long as you remember, you're within this sort of line here, this grid format, even if you were to draw this grid slightly to keep it in. But as long as you remember that you've got to have 4 of these coming out, it doesn't matter where they go, you just need 4. I know, Sheila, it's one to blow the mind. But you know, this one's going to a little bit in it for everybody, isn't it? A grid and organic. There we are. So just sort of adding these little bubbles in. It does look like they're going under the tile, doesn't it? They're almost like little threads. You've been enlarged and they're stitching around the place. There we go. Okay, all right, let's have a look at that. So far then, and of course, if you've got you've not got your tiny tile, you'll have this shape here, and it'll have a border, so it still looks like it's going in and out, but this one's sort of going to sit there. All right, I mean, I've got plenty of space to work other things, haven't I? But there we go. All right, so let's have a look now. I don't really need that one at the moment. I'm going to focus on these bits here, but I am just going to leave it there. If it moves, it doesn't matter, because I've put the arrow there. I know which way it's going to sit back on, and I can get rid of that as and when I need it later. So, okay, let's focus on this sort of central bit here. I'm going to go a little bit larger. I do, so I love it when they do that. It's lovely, isn't it? So let's move that one out of the way a little bit. And I'm going to do some larger bubbles because I want to tangle within the bubbles. There we go. So, see, I can go over that a little bit. I know it's going to hide it underneath, but that's fine. Let's have another one. Okay. And I'm going to put one. You see, I'm going to get them a little bit smaller here. Let's have one there. And then I'm going to put one next to it. And let's have one there. Now if we've got any really big spaces, so I've got quite a big space there. Look, I'm going to put one in there. And what about this one here? Let's put one in there. Okay. All right then, so go a bit larger with this. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a little bit of a swirl in there. So I've almost got this little paisley shape going both ways. And then I'm just going to aura it inside that line. And then again if I can. Again if I can. There we are. And then if I turn it, and then let's do the same again. See, you've got this little curve going in. It's like a little S in there. And then in and around. Just sort of filling in the shape if you can. And then again, I'm going to turn the tile. Now this just sort of helps you with your sort of randomness, because we don't want them all going the same way. We want them to look a little bit like they're moving around. So if you actually move your tile around, it means that you're getting, see there, look, I've got that little bit of a kink there. So let's just bring it in that way. There we are. It just makes them look like they're going in different directions. There we go. All right. So I'm going to work the same way with all of these little bubbles. There you are. Just turning it each time. I'm not, looking purposefully where all of them are going. Just as long as I've turned it, I know it's going to be different to the last one I drew, so that's okay. Oh, Lindsay, I know. Just don't look at everything else, just look at the bit you're doing. It just sort of changes it that bit. Okay, another one there, look. All right, so in we come like with lines. So that's sort of all of them filled in there. So let's have a look at, you know, we've sort of interconnected, we've got these little gaps here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill these with bubbles. So it's like bringing the tiny tile design in, you know, that little accent that we did. And it's just bringing them together, showing you how we can sort of mix them. So there's a bit there. So I've got one here, but I think I can get a large one in there. So I'll do another one of those. There we are. And then maybe a couple of bubbles just to fill that space. It's nice as well to have some of that black filled in. I think it's quite a nice contrast. There we are. Now if you wanted, you know, if you were working on the tile itself, and that's where you're not putting one over the top, that's where you'd make sure you've got a nice straight line there. Okay, so here let's start small, and then let's get a little bit larger each time. I'm not going to fill the whole thing, I'm just going to do a little bit like that. There we are. Okay. And same on this one, look. Start small, so I'm going to fill that bit, it's really small. And just get a little bit larger each time. And fill in the gaps. Okay, let's have a look at this side. Oh, maybe I can do one there. Look, see, that's quite large and it's going to get smaller, but kind of like that. It's nice contrast. And then again, I'm just going to fill in the gaps. Okay. So, next bit here. See, I've got one there, look. And it's just a case of looking for these gaps because we didn't think about them particularly. They're going to be random just by the pure fact that we didn't know what we were going to draw them. See, I'm getting small with those. There we are. Just fill that bit in. Okay. So let's see this one here. Can't really do much with that unless you've got a seriously fine pen. I think I'm just going to fill that in. But this one, look, we can fill with bubbles. There we go. And then here, I think what I'm going to do here is just do a part of it. I don't want to fill everything with bubbles. Just fill a part of it. Lynn, very good question, Lynn. Tiles by their very nature should be random and almost on the spot, I would say. But because I'm actually, well, in a sense, I'm teaching it, I definitely have a plan. I know where I'm headed. It's not necessarily always going to be the same as the one that I originally drew, so I can show you that one at the end of this and you'll see the difference. But it's definitely got the same sort of vibe and the same tangles within it. I might change the odd thing, but it's definitely planned when I'm teaching it. I can honestly say I wouldn't really want to come on and do a tile and not have it planned, because I think that's unfair, because you're here to learn, of course, and of course have a nice afternoon and you know, have a bit of us time. But it's important, I think, that, you know, we you have proper tuition, so to speak. So me planning it is just part and parcel of just good practice. But when you're at home and you're doing things, you don't really have to have a plan. So don't worry about that. Okay, so we've got these kind of bubbles going on. I think what we're going to do now is I'm just going to bring in a little bit of a wavy line. Let's just put a little bit of a bobble on the end. You see a little bobble there. Now whether you want to colour that in or whether you want to leave it. I usually colour them, but I think today I'm going to leave it. Let's go a bit larger. So I'm going to bring in some sort of larger bubbles, you see, and I'm going to fill them. There we are, just on that row there. Yeah, then let's have that joining there too. Okay, and then let's bring another one. See, this one's going to sort of go underneath that one. Let's bring it down there a bit. And then again, add some. See, it's all different sizes. Don't think you've got to be the same with them. And then this one. So now this is going to be completely different on yours than it is on mine. So I'm not going to extend that down, but I just want it to look like they've got something they're working to there. See, that one's sort of attached in there anyway. But this one, we need a bit of something to join it. There we go. Okay. Again, just add in some of those bubbles. And of course you could do those in different colours. You don't have to do them in the black. So I'm going to just bring in a line here, curved line, but then I'm just going to put a little dot on the end. Alright, let's go a bit larger. You can see that, look. And then bring in another little dot. So of course you could include your zingers at this point if you wanted. Now if you've not done a zinger, but I'll tell you what we're going to do. We'll do a zinger but really small, because in our last tile, if I remember, we did a large one. So let's do a really small one. I'm just going to draw a little line around, and then it's going to get smaller and smaller till we get to nothing. Okay, so let's take that out and have a look at it. So again, let's add one in here. See, little dots on the end. I can take one from there if I want. See, and extend it. I know, Julie, you'd have zingers on everything. And that's fine. You can have that if you want. It's not a problem. But I'm not going to put them in every one. I'll put one here, look. But I'm going to keep them really small. Okay. Again, let's just go do one here. Sort of these little flourishes and extra bits and pieces just sort of make for a slightly different view. You know, and it just changes it from what was originally a bit of a, was it just a grid, so we've gone quite organic, but this is still structured because you've got those lines that you're working within. It's just that the lines aren't in a square. So another one there, look. So might just get one in there. Don't worry if you've got to go in and out and behind. It's fine. And look, I think a little zinger on the end there. Of course, everybody's is going to be different, isn't it? So see where you head with that. Let's have a look at that. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in my border, but I think on purpose I'm going to make it a little bit wavy. Maybe even add a little curl in it. See? There we go. And then around here, just to sort of, you know, give it a little bit of a different vibe to the tiny tile that was on there. Just in there. And around. And then of course, in there. Now I'm not going to see this piece myself, so I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. But if you've drawn your little grid in there, then of course you want to extend that out. So you've covered the whole border. But if I look at this one now with my tiny tile, you see there, I'm not going to see it. It's going to be part of the same design. Okay. So let's bring in a bit of pencil now. Okay, regular pencil. I'm going to start with the smaller piece first. Make that a bit larger. And the first thing I'm going to do, when I've got these shapes here, I'm going to actually put some pencil across the lines like so. So it's the same for that one. Same for that one. Now don't be shy with this. It'd be, you know, go for you know, a little bit of strength there, just, you know, a bit more pressure. Okay. And then see, so everywhere we've got that line, we're gonna add in that there. Yeah. Now I'm not being particularly neat, never am. It's not about that, it's just about getting the pencil down. So don't worry if it's not neat, you think, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. There we are, same on that one. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the tortillon in at this point, just so you can see where we're going with it. And I'm just going to very gently, see, I'm not working right on the edge there, I'm just working on this edge where the pencil and the paper sort of come together. You see, just very, very gentle swirls. See how it softens it out? You need to go a bit further in, you can. Same on this one. And the idea is that you're going to leave a little bit of the cardstock or the white line in the middle so you get this highlight, you see? So let's do this one. Okay, same on this side. Again, try if you can to leave a bit of the paper just so you've got that highlight. You can always go back in, you know, with a rubber, but it's nice if you can keep the original. It just gives it a bit more of a natural effect there. There we are. Same on this one. So I think although this one's, you know, you've got the grid and the organic today, it's not really it's not a picture, so it's not something that's got to look like something. This is just let yourself go a little bit and just be a bit free with it. Nobody has to see it, and you could do it again if you want to. It really doesn't matter. It's just about having that little bit of me time. It doesn't matter what it comes out like. There we are. So just taking my time there. So go back and do that one, shall I? And you just focus on each square one at a time. You can suddenly see that it's making quite a three-dimensional space out of a piece of paper. It's quite magical, this. I love doing this. Yeah, I see. So you're getting that lovely 3D. And if you think, oh, I could do with a little bit more, it's not quite 3D enough, you can go back in and do another layer. And of course we're going to come back in and redefine a few lines, so we'll sort that as well. You see? And same on this one. Now usually I do like to leave all the shading till the end, but I think this is quite nice to see it growing as you go, so you don't get a bit lost with all the graphite on the paper. Okay, so if I was to now to turn it round, back in with pencil, then I'm going to do the same again this way. So again, you know, apply a bit of pressure and get some pencil on there. There we go. Just following it through. You see, and I did sort of change things up a bit by adding this extra line in. Yes, Mum, they did. Benji gets a little bit tetchy when I'm not in, so if I'm out for a long time, he misses me. Seth just sleeps through it. He's always happy to see me when I get in, but he just sleeps through it. But, yeah, Benji didn't want to leave me, I must admit, when I got in. And sometimes, because he wants to sort of sit on you and you think, I'm just tired, leave me alone. And I want to drink my cup of tea. And he's like, no, what fuss. So it gets a bit... He's a little bit big to be a lap dog. No. He doesn't know that. Okay, so you can see now you're getting this sort of 3 dimensions going on. So if I just bring my pen back in and let's just sort of, you know, add a little bit of definition there. You see I'm doing it across those lines. And I could go down as a straight line, but it's kind of nice to do each one separately. You see the difference, just putting that bit of pen in. There you are, look. Just to sort of work And don't worry if it's not quite on the line, you just want to sort of add a little bit more weight to those lines. There we are. Okay. And see, we could do the same the other way. Let's do that. Again, say I could just run down it and just redraw the grid, but there's something about just defining that space just along there. Okay. See, I'm not going all the way to sort of the edge, it's just about thickening that line a little bit there. Okay. There we are. That one. Not bad at all, that. Okay. I kind of like that. We just want, say we want a little bit of shape. I'm just going to bring my pink pen in. And I'm just going to fill in those little bubbles. Just, I don't know, maybe just the middle ones. Just to give it a little bit of a change. And there we are, see, just, I say sometimes just adding that single touch of colour makes all the difference. And I'm not colouring in particularly, I'm just sort of filling it. I'm not trying to make it blend or be creative with it. It's just about adding that touch in. There we go. And I know not all of them in the middle because some have got four, but just adding that little bit of colour in there. And I think just for the fact of it, I'm just going to come back in and just re-emphasise those lines there. You see, just sort of coming back in with the pencil. And sometimes going back and forth like this, it just builds it up. So you don't always get it to the depth that you want it every time. All right. See, so just sort of emphasising those sections. And again, I could come in and do the other side as well, but I think I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave that one as it is. There we go. And if you see, if I actually put this one now alongside this one, you see where the pink sort of, oh, that was low. Pink brings it into itself. So if I move that one away for a minute, and then what I'm going to do is, first of all, is completely go around that shape. Now remember me saying that I'm going to go over there, so my shading's sort of reflecting that, and I'm going to go over everything that I've drawn there. The same here. Okay. I think for this one as well, I'm going to go around the outside. And of course, I'm not going to do here because you're not going to see that on mine. But if you haven't used this extra tile, then of course you've got to remember you're going to go all the way around. There we are. And then same here. I'm not going to need to go all the way along, but there we go. Okay. So first thing I want to do is I'm just going to come in, I'm going to add a little bit of pencil, quite heavy, just to that little section there. Now you can choose to do the whole thing. You can shade it as you would a bubble and just put, like, you know, the little smirk on there like that. Or because you can choose, actually I'm going to use both sides, you see. Let's do both sides. Just to sort of emphasise the shape. So adding the pencil to that side and that side, you see? There we are. Same, oh, we'll do that one and that one. Just that one in there. Same here, a bit there, a bit there. And then again, these larger ones, I am going to come in and, you see, I've just added a little bit of a, like almost like a little smirk on there. Okay. And then just going to bring some pencil underneath there. Okay, let's go a bit larger there so you can see that. You see, just underneath there. And because this one goes underneath there, I'm just going to add a little bit either side. And then, of course, a little bit there. And there. And that one. And this, see, I'm not going to see much there. And it's going to either side, because you know, that goes that way. Just sort of work it in that way. Same on that one. And again here, you're just going to see a little bit there, so it's going underneath. So we're just adding a little bit there and a bit there. Okay. Oh, did you, Chris? Oh, it's I might have missed it. I do try and get to all of them, but I'll do a check in a minute. It's sometimes as well, because some come through Messenger, some come through Facebook, and sometimes I miss the odd one. I do apologise, but I'll have a check through. Okay. Oh. So what I'm doing now, look, I'm just softening those areas. You see, just sort of, again, trying to leave a little bit of a gap of the colour tile underneath if I can, just to sort of give that difference between light and dark. Alright, so I'm going to ignore this line just for a minute. I'm going to do everything else first. So just softening it out. A bit there, see, a bit there. So you don't have to go across the whole lot, you just sort of have to touch where the graphite touches the paper and mix it round. Alright, so see that one there, I'm just going to work on that bit. This one's going here. Again, you know, don't fill the whole thing. Just little bits. Okay. Same on this one. Right. Oh, Mum, did you ask for tiles? I think I've put you some in your pack. I think I have. I can't remember now how I packed yours yesterday. I think I put some in. I'm sure I did, Mum. I'm sure I did. And some tortillons. Oh, there you go. And I know yours has been collected today, and so the rest, I'll mark them as dispatched, whoever's is done today in a short while. Okay. Yeah. No, Gladys, they weren't in a tin. The Christmas ones were in a tin. Sometimes communication between a certain people can be a little bit fraught. So now, okay. So I'm just sort of, because I've put a lot of pencil, I'm coming round and I'm sort of swirling it to start with, see? And then blending it as I go. But I'm not going completely out. I'm just doing that sort of bit there. And then again, here we go, just swirling that round a little bit. There we go. No rush. And of course, if you've got one of the regular cream sort of cartridgey tiles, it's gonna work a little bit easier than the super smooth. Oh, Chris, I know they're lovely, aren't they? Those tins. I will do some more of those, because of course once they go in my little shop in my new place, then they'll be there. But yeah, they were a really nice little find. I'm really pleased with them. I mean, I love the tile storage, you know, the wooden boxes. I think they're beautiful because you can tangle on them. But the little tins are actually pretty robust, so kind of like them. They're great for travelling and storing stuff. Even keeping the odd biscuit in if you need to. Okay. So just to sort of bring in a little bit of pink here too. I know my tile's pink, but I'm going to bring back my pen, and I'm just going to choose just a sort of a few of these to add a little bit of colour to. And it's not that I'm blending it or I'm trying to mix colours together. It's purely just adding a block colour in there. It's really throwing it down outside, goodness me. There we are. Anybody out there driving is safe. taking their time. I know sometimes you get these lorries passing you when you're driving and it's like this, it's not good. There we are. See, just adding that touch of colour, whether it be a gel pen, whether it be, I could even bring got my glaze. I'm going to bring my silver in, I think, as well. There you go, just a touch of pink. Okay, if I bring the silver in, just touch a couple with silver there. You see, just touching it, you see the difference? Oh, there you are, look. You see, just adding that little bit. Let's add a couple of little bubbles. Okay. Again, I'm just touching it. I'm not trying to do anything crazy. So, you know, a little bit of metallic in there has made a lot. Do I have with me? Sometimes, you know, because I'm constantly doing that, sometimes I'll leave things at home. See, I've got 3 white pens. I've got a glaze. I don't know if you've ever used a glaze. There you go, it says glaze. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm just going to pick a couple. I might actually go in with on these black bubbles. I'm just going to work over it. Now, whether or not you'll see this, I don't know. All it actually does is it just sort of gives the whatever colour's underneath it, it sort of makes it look a bit shiny. Yeah. Of course, you just have to leave it to dry, but once you have, in a second, if you can see that. Oh, there you go. See, it's got a little bit of sheen on it. See there? And once that's dry, you'll be able to sort of run your finger over it, and you'll be able to touch it, and it's quite raised. I'm going to do a couple of them. So, you know, I'm not using much colour at all. It's quite nice to just play with. So let's have a look at this and bring it in now with this tile. So here we go. So that one's going to sit there. Of course, I would rub the arrow out once I've put it into my journal, my book, or whatever it is I'm going to put it in. And there we go. So having the contrast, I think, looks kind of nice. And I think what it does need is a little bit more. So just in those areas there. Now this is where we start getting a little bit picky, and we're looking at things and we want to improve. So never sort of think, oh, I'm not going to touch it now because I've my gel on or whatever. If you look at it and you think it needs a little bit more, by all means go back in. Even if your tile's been there for, I don't know, 6-7 weeks, and you go back to it and you think, oh, do you know, it needs a little bit of this, that and the other, then by all means go back in and add a little bit more. It's not a problem. So there's my little initials there. So I'm saying that is done today. But I do want to show you, I did do one yesterday. A second, and I'll bring that in. I actually did it in my practice book. I know a practice book is what it is, a practice book, so don't think you've got to be completely neat with it. It's all about trying things. So here we go. You can see there, I've changed it up a little bit where I've got more of these coming in. So when I say I plan, I do plan things out, but it just, now and again, it changes. But that's kind of nice. So there we go. There's the one. See how it's just slightly, let's do it that way, slightly different. But that works quite well. And then, of course, if I bring my pink tile in, there you go. So you've got very, very similar things going on there as you have here. I've used a red there rather than a pink, and I've added lines in, look, instead of bubbles, but it's still planned. Yes, Chris, it's a clear glaze. I think I have got some. If you have a look on my website, there may be a couple on there. So yeah, you can see that, you know, a few extra of these. Then of course photo corners in there. But then the nice thing is I've actually started to take, if I look at this one, you see this line here? Let's go a bit bigger so you can see it. I know, lovely. It's because if you know, with the dies for the photo corners, you can use whatever you like. So here we go. So I've got this one, see, coming through here, and then it goes underneath, but then comes back out on the page. And then this one here, I've sort of taken it from here, look, so it's come here, it's gone inside underneath, and then it's come hovering out again. So it's quite nice to sort of play about with different things, and you know, just to sort of try them out. So, and of course here is another start, because I've actually taken this little curved shape here with the bubbles in, you know, like the pea pod, and I've done a little tiny tile just on those shapes. It's not finished yet, but it never has to be. So it's nice to sort of take little bits from the tile and just sort of work it. See, look, little bubbles here and things, and just work it into whatever it is you're doing at the time. So it's nice to sort of take and just try these things. So, okay, if I just pull that out a little bit, there we go, as much as I can. I'll bring in the one that we've just finished. There we are. So if I was to put that one over the top, look, and then that one, see, with my little arrow there, that's our tile for today. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you like it, and I hope it wasn't too tricky and you're going to have a go at it. So yeah, okay, so other than that, I'm going to get back to some packing just for a little while, and I promise I will get you your tile swaps in the post tomorrow afternoon. So okay, it's going to be Tuesday by the time you start getting them. Thank you for your patience with that. I will get round to it. And yeah, I will be back here on, oh goodness me, Wednesday for tile number 163. So in the meantime, have fun with it. Get your boards, start drawing some designs up on your boards, and I'll see you all soon. Have a great one. Okay, bye.